And hi guys, I hope everyone is doing great. So today we will talk about something very problematic, maybe not problematic as a lot of people would say, but that's quite questionable sometimes. We'll talk about hybrids. Let's go. So the first thing when we talk about hybrids is what type of hybrid, because there are three main types of hybrids. Yes, this first part will be a little theory, so you can skip it if you want. But the first thing is, or the first type of hybrid are what we call integrated, to use Nick Mitten's terminology, which is, for example, carpet python. You take a diamond and a coastal, to take a wild type example, and you make breed them together. You have an integrated because it's the intra-species hybrid. Like there is an integrated zone in the wild with coastal and diamonds integrated that breeds together. But this is the same idea. It can happen in the wild, coastal and diamonds, for example, but sometimes not. Like when you breed a Darwin to a jungle or Darwin to a diamond, for example, that can't happen in the wild, but that's still integrated because they're the same species, but they are not the same individual. Like they're not the same snake. They aren't just from the same species, but not the same snake. The second one, to be a bit bigger, are what I call intragenous hybrids. So what is it? It's your carpondro, for example, because as you may know, carpet pythons, morelia spilota, and grid-tree pythons, for example, are morelia viridis or morelia azurea, depending on which locality. But we'll keep it simple. Your carpondro or jackpondro, sometimes like here, a jackpondro is a jaguar carpet to a green-tree python, and a carpondro is a carpet to a green tree. For example, this is another type of hybrid that can't happen in the wild a lot of time. I never heard of a wild carpondro. I'm not an expert in hybrids, but this is just it. Then you have what I would call intergenous hybrids. What is an intergenous hybrids? It's a lot of time, you'll see a carpet to a ball python, and an Angolan python to a green tree python, a Boland's python to a carpet python, for example. These are all intergenous hybrids, right? So you have the integrated, which is intra-species. You have the intragenous, what we call genus, because the fixed name, first name, morelia, python, pantherophis, all that stuff. These are the same. They have the same first name, so morelia, for example, and then another, because they're another species, and the rest that is different. And then we have your intergenous, which is two different genus. Like for example, let's take another obvious one, Pantherophis godatus, for example. You'll take a corn snake, Pantherophis godatus, and you take a carpet python, Morelia spilota. These are colubris. They're not even from the same family, but let's make it obvious here. They're not the same snakes at all, DNA-wise, cellular-wise, everything-wise. They're not the same species. They're not the same snake. And you may bring them together, and you will have, if you can first, but you will have a interspecies, intergenous hybrid. But let's see some snakes, because it's a lot of blah blah, but not real stuff. Let's go. Let's take, for example, your usual carpet python. So this is Sukuna. You already saw a video about him. He is a pure Darwin carpet. So this is the most close to the wild albino snake you will find, really, as carpet python. There are some lines of albinos in coastals, but that's not a discussion here. So this is a pure one. This is an albino that can be found in the wild, etc. That could be found in the wild. One or two individuals were found originally, but yeah. So this is a pure one. This is a one, like all the parents were one type of snakes. Morelia spelota variegata from the Darwin area, so no NT, so Northern Territory, for example. Then let's take Utahime out. Utahime here is a perfect example of an integrated because she's het albino, so she's an albino, she carries an albinism like Saguna, here the Darwin, so Morelia spelota variegata, and she is, I don't know with what else, because I don't know what she is as an integrated, but she is an integrated. Let's assume it's a coastal, for example. So she would be a coastal to a Darwin integrated. This is not a wild integrated type of snake, but this is the example. Is it ethics? There are some ethical questions about that. Integrated, for example, or a mess for a gene pool because, it's a mess when you're not, when you don't tell the truth. For example, here, she was told that she was a pure Darwin, where she isn't actually, because she doesn't look she doesn't have the look of a pure Darwin, normal Darwin, het albino, where he is a pure, I know it because the breeder has the parents for the parents and blah blah blah, all the lineage from it, and knows the lineage of his snake. So let's make her, for example, a 50%, at least 50% Darwin. So she's not a pure Darwin. You have the same thing with your super dwarf retex. For example, the retex, you take a Jayapura or a Kalatoa, 50% Kalatoa, 50% Jayapura, 50%, I don't know what, from your localities. These are all subspecies. So just what you see when you see 62.5% retex, super dwarf retex from Kalatoa, it is an integrated because it's not, the parents at some point were not only Kalatoa snakes, for example, here. And does it create a lot of problems? Yes, because when with her, if you're not, you don't pay attention like me, or the breeder doesn't say the truth because, doesn't say the truth, then you have a problem because you think that you will have pure, and I like this pure, for example, I like this pure Darwin, and I will make them breed that, and I'll have all pure snakes, when in fact it isn't. So what do I think? It is a problem if you're not, if you don't tell the truth about it, It can be a problem, but it isn't it's still a problem because we have a limited gene pool, etc. For retics, for example, it's closed. We can't have any others. For carpets, it's the same. We can't have any others. So once the gene pool is masked, there is no way to go back, for example. But because my opinion about that is, as long as you tell the truth, there is no real problem, I would say. There are problems if you don't tell the truth. There is a problem with making it integrated and stuff because, you don't have pure snakes. And for example, for someone that likes wild type snakes, that it will go to Australia in the Northern Territory, for example, will look for a Darwin, and you won't find any snake like this because this is not a wild occurrent snake. Or, this type of stuff, So when you make Carpondro, yes, it's cool, it's beautiful, blah, 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 but you mess a gene pool of snakes. When you make green tree pythons, for example, designers, and I'm not here to say it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Everyone is opinions. My opinion is that the two can cohabitate, the two can live together, but we have to say this is a designer and you have to be aware of it, and this is a pure and you have to be aware of it. This would be the best way, I think, to make the two live together and cohabitate, and not having each other like begging and fighting. I'm the best. No, you didn't understand anything. Blah blah blah. But to take back the green tree pythons, for example, green tree pythons are not the same localities. There are a lot of different localities that you can see that as carpets as different subspecies. You have the biak, you have the sarong, you have the I'm not a real Crunch Python guys, but you have the idea. But when you make a Biak and a Sorong breed, this is not a snake that will occur in the wild. This is not a snake that you will see in the wild. This is a snake that we would only see in captivity, for example, you know. And does it create a problem? Again, I don't think so. If you're aware of it, and if the breeder is aware of, you know, saying the truth, and he says the truth, and he's like, okay, this is a designer. I made it so wrong in the Biak, for example, so wrong in the Biak, and because I found it cool, and you know, and you if you're more like a lineage guy, pure species locality guy, then you know, okay, I find it cool as a pet, but I don't want to breed it, or I don't want it because it's not pure, you know, depending. And yeah, so what is my opinion? I'm more of a lineage guy with a little bit more of research. She's an integrated. Will I breed her? Yes, one shot because she's het albino, and I just by curiosity prove her out if she's albino or not. Het albino, by the way, or not. But this would be the only time I would breed her because just once I know, I just know it's just curiosity, you know. And if she's not, I don't care. If she is, I don't care. I'm happy. If she isn't, I'm happy. I don't give a shit about that. It's just pure curiosity. But I would not breed her like I would do with once I have a pure female. So that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I know it's a bit like boring way of talking about it. It's boring to talk about that kind of shit, but I think it's really important to do it. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to stay strong, Brian's group. Don't forget Brickless and Exotic Pets group. Don't forget to support Wizard. Don't forget to support Unicab. There are this stuff. Reptiles Keeper Association. I never remember that name, but go, you know, support them also. And I hope to see you on the next one.